All right, Captain's Dogs. We got Jake from Joke WRLD, dude. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're back at the Creek in the Cave. You're here for Moon Tower Comedy Festival. Yeah, I was on Sunday. I was in the green room of Sunset, just giving an absolute whoop down to Gardini on NCAA. Do you play Madden or NCAA?
I love playing Madden against my little brother. I grew up just with a GameCube. I'm not like a big gamer.
Dude,
but
GameCube is huge, bro.
NCAA was great on that. I had the one with maybe Michael Vick on the cover.
Yeah.
Or no, Carson Palmer. It was that one.
Okay.
I love that dynasty, but Madden I think I like better just because you can find your few plays that work every time.
Dude, here, Brandon, I didn't know this. I went for 2 on the very first touchdown. Apparently that's an aggressive move. Apparently that's that can dent a relationship.
That's
a
big
dick
move.
Big swinging dick move. Like, I respect it, but yeah, that is like if you do that, I'm instantly onside kicking on you next touchdown.
Yeah,
like, that's an act of war. No more punting. Get the fuck out of here.
There was some heat in the green room because of that. But yeah, anyways,
there should not be punting anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You always go 4th and 25 Hail Mary.
I'll start off the game with an onside kick if I'm playing my brother.
Let's go,
also.
dude.
Like,
see, that's the energy I like.
Yeah.
That's the energy I like. I'm here to win. I got one speed.
Exactly.
Go.
So do you random teams or do you have a team you play with?
I'm I'm excited for the new one because I think there's going to be more teams. This was NCAA 14, so I was just the Miami University.
Okay.
And he was the Florida Gators.
Is that your team?
No, I would say UCLA is my team.
Okay.
Yeah, which,
You're from California?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent most of my formative years there. Where do you live?
I live in Tampa right now. I'm actually planning on relocating here once my lease
Let's go.
is up
Come
in
on,
August.
dude. Come on.
Welcome.
But I'm from Cleveland, so I'm a huge Buckeye fan.
Okay, cool.
That's like my favorite franchise out of anything.
Fuck yeah.
And then I like the Bengals too. But
yeah, so I was in the green room with him, and they mentioned that you were here. So
yeah.
the show had already started. I didn't get it to come out to introduce myself. It's great to meet you.
yeah, great to meet you.
It's always kind of awkward right on the podcast, but I'm a huge fan, dude. We were just talking. I mean,
thank you.
So you, I don't want to start any beef amongst the comedy news anchors here, but I see some of the other ones, and I think one of them is like comedy enforcement or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them is it's like TMZ style, which is cool. Like I'll see some of those and I'll click on them from time to time, but it's a lot of like drama type stuff.
Yeah.
You push out the positivity, baby.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I love it. You're highlighting the news in comedy, who's coming up. You covered the mothership pretty nicely. I remember Chandler Roan was down here doing videos
that was
for
fun.
you. Chandler's my boy. I love that guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's
Awesome.
great. And then I just saw you at Dave Chappelle's club.
Yeah, that was unreal.
How was that?
That
man?
was super cool because, like I said, I'm from Ohio, not Dayton specifically, but it was fun to go back there and just see something that's really cool in Ohio because it's kind of like a punchline, I feel like, around, like not many, especially Cleveland specifically, but Ohio, not many people know that it's actually a pretty cool place. And so the fact that it's from where I was from was cool. But besides that whole thing, just the club itself was unreal. Like it's an old firehouse. It's in the middle of nowhere. Like
Yellow Springs is the town?
Yeah, Yellow Springs.
I looked, the population's like 1,200. It's not.
Yeah, I saw maybe 100 people there like the whole time I was there. It was just farms. It's an old firehouse, so everything's brick. All the lighting is red inside. It's really cool. It's probably the size of the creek.
Okay.
No tables though, so all the chairs. There's no wasted space. It's very, very close.
Is it stadium style?
No, it's just flat. It's really just like the creek, honestly, except for just.
Is it seating the way Sunset does it? Just rows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But like not even the small tables to like put your phone or order anything on. Like
right.
there's nothing there. Seat. We were in the 3rd row. So I was like from here to there with Chappelle, which was insane because I said it in the review video, but I saw him in an arena once, which is cool to, obviously I love comedy a lot and I had never seen Chappelle before that arena. So it was like, all right, that's a bucket list thing. I've seen Dave. But it wasn't like anything to write home about. Like I didn't even make a video about it.
For sure. I have a similar experience with Bill Burr. He was here at the Moody Center and I had never seen him and I had to do it, but it's a one and done. Those arenas. I was so amazed with just how many people were there for comedy.
Yeah, it's like more of a celebration of like we're all fans of this guy and look at what he did. He could sell this all out and it's like common interest, but it's not really meant.
He's not working out the new hour.
Yeah, and it's like the audio's off. You're watching on the Jumbotron half the time.
Exactly.
But in the club, we're 3rd row, so intimate. The stage is, the same size out here. Like it's small and he feels so safe there First of all, because the security was insane.
I saw I did watch your video. It looked like a TSA.
Yeah, you had to sign something before you went in. I didn't really read it, so I don't know what that says. I hope
you didn't get clear. You didn't get the pre-check.
The Dave Chappelle pre-check. I should have. Yeah,
that could be a thing, dude. There's money to be made everywhere.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of money to be made. He needs to open a hotel there. Like they could make that a whole tourist attraction.
Amusement park. Get a roller coaster going, Dave.
The weirdest part was when he first walked out. We didn't know he was even gonna be there. We thought he might be because it's obviously his club, but Bill Burr did 5 days before that, all in a row. And it was also happened to be the weekend of my girlfriend's birthday, so I couldn't go to those ones. So I had to go on Monday when it was Burt. So we just bought tickets to Burt, and we're hoping that we would see Chappelle.
So it was a headlining show?
Yeah, okay. But that's the only person that they said would be on it. And then it ended up being Chappelle walks out first. Me and my buddy are losing our minds because we're like, thank God, like we were really hoping this would happen, and it did. It's also the same day as the solar eclipse, so it was a wild day. And the whole audience is like kind of chill. Like I didn't realize this. My buddy was from Dayton. They're so used to seeing him around in Yellow Springs that they weren't even like losing their shit when he just walked out there unannounced. Like they were just like, oh, there's Dave again. I saw him at the grocery store before this. There he is again. And so I was like, that's weird. Because then when Burt came out, it was a full standing ovation. And I was like, all right, I guess these were Burt's ticket buyers. But
does he grocery shop in like in the onesie?
Yeah, because
that's what I would love to. Does he wear Chappelle clothes all over town?
That's hilarious. I wonder if he does.
And the club is unnamed right now.
Yeah, I think it's live from Yellow Springs, is what he said it was gonna be like.
But it's got the C, right? It's got the Chappelle C.
Yeah, they haven't announced it yet. So we were there. They were filming something for Netflix. It's going to come out called the Soundcheck series with Burt Show, whatever they do till the end of June. And it's like a little documentary about turning this place into a full functioning club. But we thought we were just seeing Burt. We saw Andrew Yang do stand-up, which was so random.
Presidential candidate, Andrew Yang. Wow. How much time did he do?
Like 10 minutes.
Interesting.
And it was dirty and it was good and it was like, not racist, like it's comedy.
Right.
But he was it was edgy.
He was touching up on some things.
It was awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it was really funny. And then Dave came because I guess he endorsed him when he was running for president. So he came on. He like hosted the show. Cypher Sounds was there. Burt did an hour. It was so cool. They didn't have their liquor license yet, which was kind of weird. We were all just kind of sitting there.
Oh, wow. So in Dave Chappelle fashion, I'd have to imagine this was quite a long show.
Yeah. It was about 3.5 hours.
Sober.
They were drinking.
Yeah.
Which we were like, all right, so there's alcohol in here somewhere. But
exactly. Because I don't know why you can't get away with BYOB.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You couldn't even have snuck in a flask, though. Like, the way they patted you down, there was, like, 3 different steps. Like, first, you sign a form. That was probably the Netflix thing, honestly. And then, I hope it didn't say, don't talk about this, because I've talked about it a lot. And then it was...
if you find out that you're not supposed to, this comes out next week, so let me know. We'll clean it up.
Okay, well, my video already has 80,000 views.
Oh, well, then fuck it.
I'm already
fucked. We're good. We're good.
But yeah, so then we signed that, then you got scanned, and then you got patted down, then you got like patted down again. And then at every door there was these guys in suits that were they weren't laughing during the show. Like they were very serious and they were visible during the whole thing. If you went to get to the bathroom, they were standing over there at every exit. It was kind of like unsettling, honestly.
Yeah, that is weird.
But it also tipped me off to be like, oh, I think Chappelle's going to be here because this security is like unreal. And obviously he got attacked in real life, so it makes sense.
Maybe he was just Yang's Secret Service.
Yeah, actually, that could have been.
It could have been. I don't know. But because at the mothership, it's he's got the Navy SEALs and the MMA fighters. They're super cool though. You can tell they love comedy, MMA, and actually Spec Ops guys. For whatever reason, there's a good crossover with comedy. Yeah, I think Rogan's pretty responsible for that.
That's true. Yeah, he's drawn in a lot of.
But even like Theo Von's friends with like Poirier and these guys. He's always ringside with them.
Yeah, I think Schultz is friends with Stylebender. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's kind of similar. Like they're really putting themselves out there. They could win or lose horrifically in front of a bunch of people.
Right. Exactly. Similar to comedy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's a one-on-one. With comedy, it's one against
Everyone.
Everyone.
Or one against yourself.
Or one with everybody,
Yeah,
depending on how you want to look at it. So it was a 3-hour show. Chappelle hosted. Was he doing time in between comics?
Yep, he did about 15 minutes in between every single person.
That's awesome.
Progressively was getting drunker and drunker throughout the entire show, to where at the end he was honestly hammered. At one point he goes, you know what, I hope the rest of this show sucks, because no one's going to believe you guys anyway.
I heard his real genius comes in when you see him on stage getting drunk and hammered, because his on the spot, how he can turn a thought into a bit on stage is incredible.
Well, I saw him do that. Okay, one of the coolest things was, so after Bert got off, he just stood like kind of off, like to the side of the stage where everyone could see him still. For the rest, just watch Chappelle's last time on stage. It was like 40 minutes. And you could see Bert watching Dave, which is cool to see, like 2 out of the 20 arena comics in the same room, like watching each other. That's just interesting. And you could hear Bert's laugh, which obviously everyone could picture that perfectly. But at one point,
is somebody crying in here?
yeah. Bert was wearing one of those like big hats that he wears, like those flap rims that like girls in Nashville wear. Right. And he was, Dave was like, you look like this character from this movie. I forget what the movie was, but Dave said the wrong movie. And then Bert said, oh, I think you meant this movie. And then on that correction, Dave went into like a 10-minute perfectly like punchlines throughout the whole thing, like story about that movie and like what it meant to like other stuff. And it seemed like he had it written down. Like it seemed like it was in the chamber and it was just off his drunken head. Just like he made a mistake. And that it was incredible.
Brandon, I spent 2.5 hours trying to punch up a bit about my dad's penis. And Dave, that is,
He's
my
just stumbling into the punchline.
I'm not even kidding either, dude. It's 2.5 hours. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so, and he also was doing a ton of material about the eclipse, which literally just happened that day. So, that's off the top of his head. And it was, I said in the video, it was like the best experience I've ever had at a show. It was one of the coolest things ever. And people were kind of like, like you can get a lot of views like shitting on Bert, especially if you only see him.
That's what I'm saying about these other guys. That's all I'm seeing these days.
But they've never seen him with the phones locked up in a 100-seat venue. Like, first of all, there's a reason that he is where he is. I feel like anyone can just logically admit that, even if it's not your exact cup of tea. But also, just being there for that and then watching him watch Chappelle and like how much admiration he had. Like, he stayed out there to watch. Like I feel like guys at that level probably don't watch that much stand-up, you know? They're probably kind of over it.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to watch him watch Dave.
Dude, the first show that I got to watch at the Mothership, it was like, it had been open for 2 weeks. Asana Mod and Derek Poston used to put on the show called Solid Comedy. And they had a stacked lineup because it was like opening month of the club. And Gillis went up, so we got to see him. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
But then he stayed in the back. I mean, you've been to the Mothership?
Yeah.
In both rooms?
No, I've been 3 times and they've all been in the big boy.
Dude, you gotta go to Little Boy. You have to, bro.
Okay.
It's so intimate.
It's hard to get it. It's hard
tough.
to get in there.
It is very tough. Yeah. How long are you here for?
Till Monday.
Okay. We'll talk. But yeah, dude, you got to go to a show there. And so there's kind of like a double. There's just like a kind of like a second level, but it's only a few steps up in the back, and they seat people back there, and like the comics sit there, and that's where he was just chilling, watching, like laughing, watching Chris O'Connor, his opener, just laughing at him. Cool. It's so cool, and it's a real community in there that they're building up, and just being like me and Brandon have gone up a number of times in the Little Boy. It's fucking scientifically perfect. Dude.
Really?
It is. Oh my God, you're getting assaulted with laughter, like the acoustics in there, or it's the most awkward set of your life if it doesn't go well.
Yeah,
because it is.
Because they for the open mic at least, they turn all the house lights on for the open mic so that it's as hard as possible. And then as soon as the crew show, as soon as this 15 or 16 open micers go up, they then cut all the lights and the room changes. And so but they make it hard on purpose because they want to see who can really rip. And so when you can crush in that room with the lights on, you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Wow. How'd you guys do?
It's been going pretty well.
Nice.
It's been going pretty well over there.
Yeah,
I've only had really good sets, but it's really set up in your favor. That's the thing. If you have jokes and you're doing it and you're grinding, like it's set up.
Yeah.
It's set up in your. I haven't done the Fat Man yet. That is it's a privilege to do a set in there.
I don't know if this is a disrespectful question because we're in the beautiful Creek in the Cave, which I like here as a fan too. But is it hard to do other clubs after getting to go to the Mothership and being like, oh, this was sick?
Honestly, the Creek in the Cave is my favorite club.
Okay.
Even so, because like you really have to. I mean, the Creek can be a kill box, but you also have to earn it. It's a humbling room.
Right.
And I think spreading it out, I mean, that's the dynamics of comedy. Like Mark Norman, for example, like 2 years ago, did the Romo room on the north side of Austin, which seats like 70. And then he goes and sells out a theater.
Yeah.
So I think I see what I know what you mean, but no, not really. Like it's definitely a rabbit to chase because it's the most fun to kill in there.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. There's also just like so many good rooms because like East Austin Comedy Club's great, Black Rabbit rips. I mean, then obviously like Sunset and Creek are great rooms. I mean, there's not like a lot of bad clubs and they're all different, but Creek is like more feels like how you would describe a comedy club where it's ups and downs. Like I run the Thursday 10 p.m. show here and, you know, sometimes there's 90 people here. Sometimes last week there was 15 because we're the 11 p.m. spot. And the 15 people fucking rocked. And it was like a fun challenge to try and do a room full of 15.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, yesterday I performed for 80 people. This is not the same at all. But it's, I don't know, it's part of it. Both are fun in different ways.
Also,
more realistic.
The pressure's on in there because you got Adam Egget, the booker, in the back, and like you got eyes on you at all times. Where like these other stages, you can really find yourself without the pressure of that.
So there's probably more manufactured now that I'm thinking about it that way. Like this is going to be a real show every time. They're going to book like that's going to be sold out every single time. The people that are going to want to laugh because they're either there from out of town or it's their first time in the Mothership.
That's what I was going to say. Not only is it sold out, it's comedy nerds, dude. It's 1 million of you. It's great. It's the best crowd. It's for real the best audience because these are in order to get tickets to a headliner, you have to buy from 3 months in advance. And you're probably flying from out of town. It's a big deal. This is like a vacation for you.
Right.
And so they're just so excited to be there. Yeah, it's the best crowds. We're like, these other people are people that walked by on 6th Street. We barked them in.
Right, yeah. I was here for Banana Phone on Sunday. That was wild.
A lot of fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Shout out to Candace Medina. That's her mic, and it's been it's like an Austin staple.
Are these people like mostly comedians in the audience? Like they had some good lines. I was like, damn.
It's probably a good mix. At this point, there's people that come out, like there is an audience, but all the comics hang out too. So it could have been a mix of both.
Because some of those one-liners, I was like, these are, damn, this is
a lot of it's like, that's my buddy, and I'm going to get his ass next week at Banana Phone, so I'm writing it now. But I mean, dude, some of these comedy fans are equally as funny. Like you see the crowd work, you know, reels and stuff, and
that's true.
They have gold. They have gold to say, these people. Like I listened to Stavros' podcast, and he does one of the ones where people call in, and it's the craziest shit from just normal people.
And that's just, I guess that's honesty. Like it's pretty funny usually.
I don't know. I think the type of person that's did you ever do stand-up, or you just always been a fan?
No, I kind of got into, do you want a long answer that leads us to now? Or
sure, yeah.
Yes would be the answer. So when I was 18, I started doing open mics when I was in college.
Okay.
Which was, I don't know what year that was, maybe 2017 or something. I'm 25 now, so that was 7 years ago. And then that was like my dream. I wanted to be like I just wanted to be, just doing stand-up. Like I loved it in college. And I went to a really small school, so it was like a completely shitty open mic, and there was just one of them in like the entire surrounding area.
This is in Ohio?
Yeah. I went to Mount Union. It's a D3 school. Played ball there. Let's go.
Let's go. What ball?
Football.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
One career catch for 7 yards.
Come on.
And one national championship.
Come on, dude. You got a ring?
Yep.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, that makes you the most unathletic person in this room, Matty.
Me?
You're talking to 2 college athletes. That makes you the bottom. But you're a veteran, so
that's what I'm saying. Let's get a fucking rope in here. Let's see who can climb to the top first. I got it.
That's fair.
So I'm in the middle of Alliance, and just there's one mic, and I really liked it. Like I was so interested in comedy. I saw Segura's specials come out on Netflix my freshman year. Bill Burr. It's like Netflix was really heating up with these specials. I just loved it. I was starting to get into Rogan a lot, listening to that. So I was doing open mics and like writing and like trying to take it seriously while I was in school, but also you don't take much seriously while you're really in school. So I wouldn't say I ever had like a career, but I did that for like 2 or 3 years. Like I did some tournaments in Cleveland. I drive up there, got to perform at Hilarities a few times. Nice. That was fun. Like the main stage, it was pretty cool. And then I graduated in 2020 during COVID. My plan was to get a sales job in like a big market like New York or just a bigger city than Cleveland, basically. And then just try to have a normal job and try to like do stand-up. And then when I graduated, there was no jobs and there was no stand-up. Like I basically had to move home and do Instacart for like a year, like just delivering groceries right out of college for about a year. And during that process or period of time, I was still, you know, equally as obsessed with comedy. And I was like, I don't really have, it's not like I'm like quitting. Like I was never serious enough to feel like I walked away from anything. It was just something that I really liked to do and wasn't the worst.
Well, technically, you didn't walk away.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
well, I haven't been on stage in like 2 years because now I feel like I'm in a weird position where if I'm like, not that I'm judging people, but if I'm reporting, I would never want to. I feel like it'd be bad to bomb and then get on YouTube and be like, this is
for
what
sure
comedy is. So,
but you're like our Simon Cowell. Like I would trust you judging like a comedy competition.
Well, thank you. So I feel like that small experience being an open micer, strictly an open micer, I think I got paid twice in my life. I think that helped this weird career, whatever you want to call it now. Because I have
what do you call it?
I don't know what I call it really.
It's a beautiful story. Sales to thumbnails, dude. It's a beautiful and that's your book, by the way.
Yeah, true.
When you get there, I would like 10% of the time. But
I view it more as like a business. It's like a YouTube channel, but I don't view myself as a YouTuber. I view it more as like a business, like ESPN, like at the Sports Center for Comedy. That's what I would like to have eventually. Like
you're a comedy correspondent.
Yeah, but kind of like a journalist in a way. And I feel like those experiences, being on stage when, you know, young like that, helped me now kind of know what it's like instead of just being a random, you know, guy making YouTube videos, which I still am. I have this like tiny like 1% experience of actually doing stand-up. I really liked it. And so now I just kind of, when I was living at home delivering groceries, I always knew how to video edit, and I was just like putting together compilations that I liked. And then I also like YouTube videos. Like I like the YouTube app. Like, I don't know if you know Cody Ko or guys like that, like commentators.
Yeah.
I love people like that, but they never talk about stand-up or comedy or anything. So I was like, all right, let's try something like that, because there seems to be no one doing it. And
Cody Ko, he like does he do stand-up?
Yeah,
I know the other guy. Who's the other guy?
Noel. Yeah, he definitely does. I think Cody used to more. Might have like stopped a little bit.
I think Noel's been here. I think he headlined the Creek, actually.
He tours and like has a special and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have like limited experience in it, but I really liked it.
Dude, I think if you're having fun, keep doing it, and then if you ever want to get back on stage, it's going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's always there for you.
I just am like maybe too in my head about like, also though, if I'm not wearing like a fucking Joke WRLD hat, I don't think anyone would know who I am. So maybe I'm overthinking it anyway. But
now, dude, but your stuff's growing fast, man. Your page looks, your numbers are great.
Thank you.
You're doing really good.
I appreciate it.
And how long have you been doing this?
3 years.
Okay. That's awesome. So at 2020, when all that happened, comedy clubs were shut down. You couldn't even use your degree.
Yeah.
You just started making the videos.
Yep.
And you stuck with them, or did they take off quick?
I stuck with them. It was something I just wanted to do. And I was watching all these podcasts anyway, or listening to them while I was delivering groceries. And then, because that's all I had while I was in the car. Like, you can only listen to music so many times. You're out delivering groceries all day. It's like you start listening to all these podcasts.
Right.
And so then eventually I was able to find a job in sales, like a regular, tech sales job.
Sure.
So that moved me to Tampa, where I live now, and I was still doing both things. I was cultivating a little bit of a community to the point where it's like, I'm not going to stop doing this, even if I'm, just doing sales. And then eventually, like, my incomes were close to the same, and I was like, maybe I could make this like a real business if I had all the time to put into this.
Yeah, man.
So I called my dad, and I was like, I want to quit my job. And then he was like, you can quit if you just don't move back to Cleveland. You have to stay in Tampa, because if you move to Cleveland, you'll be too distracted with all your friends. But in my head, I was like, you fool, there's so much more to do. Okay, I won't go back to Cleveland. Like, Tampa's, there's so much more to do.
You're texting him from the strip club.
Yeah, but he was definitely right in the end, because like, although there's like unlimited going out and stuff in Tampa, my friend group would have been so distracting at home. Like, it was almost nice to like,
at that age, you were what, 23 at the time? Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, dude, and there's so much growth. Like, Joke WRLD can eventually put on comedy shows, be a club
I hope
one day.
so. The club is like the main.
That's the goal.
Dream
It fires me up.
Here.
Let's go.
And maybe with some even live streaming aspect to like the channel to like make it a little different and better too. Like, I don't know if that would be crowd work. Obviously, you don't want to burn stuff on a live stream, but I think we could tie in the channel to a club or just have it as a club anyway. That's like a big dream. And then also like festivals, stuff like that, apps. Like we have a lot of stuff that we want to do. Right now it's me, and then I have my first full-time employee, Chase Leopard. He's the man. He does Leopard. I actually never asked him if it's Leopard or Leopard.
I think we should go with Leopard.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
I think he would appreciate it.
I should probably know that. Maybe bleep that. No, but yeah, he's really helped us take it to a whole new level. Just having two people doing it all the time and like focused on it. And he was like stacking chips in this industry kind of for no reason, like for like 10, 15 years. Like he has all these connections. Like he's like fucking.
He's like friends with Bert, right?
Yeah. Bert, okay, so this is crazy. So I posted the job application, like a Google Doc form when I was doing this, like probably close to a year ago. And 91 people applied, which was awesome. I was like very blown away and humbled. Is like, this is really cool. Half of them were just like how I would have applied to Barstool when I was in college. Like I'll do anything for this company. I just want to be part of it. And I was like, all right, that's very thoughtful, but doesn't really do me much good. And then his application, I knew he was going to apply in my head, and I knew that I was going to hire him, but I just wanted to put out the Google form anyway. And I didn't really interview anyone else. He was such a no-brainer. And when he announced that he took this position, Bert followed me and then DM'd him, congrats on the new gig. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, there's no one else I could have hired that would have happened to.
Also, like, it's cool that you didn't hire him because of that. You found out within the hiring process.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he like runs websites for some of the major guys. He just has years and years of experience, and also has the same view of like, we like this. Like, that's what the thing is about, like you're saying, the positivity thing. I don't even think it's that weird. It's like, I make videos for people that like comedy. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if you don't like it, then you might not like my videos. And there's plenty of other videos about that too, and that's fine. But he has the same like viewpoint of like positivity. Like, let's try to help. Not that these people need help, but like,
I don't think you're helping them as much as you're helping the comedy community.
Well, that's great too. I guess that was always the main goal. And then just not to, I don't want to like hurt, like hurt anyone's public image or persona. Right. Not that I would even be,
or respect, dude, because no one else seems to give a shit. So that's good on you. And comedians love you. Did they have you at Skankfest, or did you just go? Because I saw you covered that.
I went this year, and then Lewis said he'd hook me up with some free tickets this next one. So
hell yeah. Hopefully I'll see you there, dude. I submit it.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if I get in.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. And how was that? Because you went to the Las Vegas one?
Yeah, that was a blast. That was the first day was very like, what the hell is happening here? Like, it's very small. I'd been to Moon Tower before, where it's all spread out, different venues, all that's, you're walking around. The people are way different. Like, couldn't be more different at Moon Tower and Skankfest.
It's like juggalos at Skankfest.
Yeah, like literally. And it's in Old Vegas, which is already like a kind of a creepy place.
Beaumont Street, right?
Yeah. And I was in kind of like a motel that like Walter White would be in when he's like hiding from his family, like kind of like just like outside stairs and
right.
But it was in walking distance. And the first day I was like super overwhelmed. Like, everyone's packed in like sardines. It's like an old movie theater, and like they gutted out 5 of the theaters. So you're in the hallways. It's like I'm not explaining this well, but imagine an old movie theater where it's on the second level of a building or whatever, and then every theater has been flattened and just made into like a comedy room.
It kind of looked like a quad to a mall.
Yeah, yes, exactly, kind of like that. But they all had one-way traffic, so you had to like flow through each show. So if you want to get to the 5th show, you had to walk through like all these mobs of people to get to the last one. And the first day I was by myself, because the person I brought out to film with me didn't have a pass. So I was just in there like by myself, like getting jammed up by all these juggalos. And I was like, this is crazy. I had like a 5 a.m. flight from Tampa. So it's like I'm waking up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to Skankfest. Like, I didn't even have any time to be like mentally prepare, I guess. But I really, by the second day, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I think, by far the best festival. I have great memories at Moon Tower, like coming here with my friends. I love Austin. I like Austin more than Vegas, but Skankfest, like if for a comedy fan, it's everything you want. Like if you like Joke WRLD at all, then like you should go to Skankfest. Like it's everyone that we talk about and cover all in one place, letting it rip too. Like they don't care about anything, even though the phones aren't locked up or whatever. It's like, it's dope as hell. I love Skankfest. I'll be back every year that I'm welcome for sure.
Yeah. I also thought it was really cool that they had Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
Because I know like Lewis has said some things about him and there's been like some beef. I thought that was really cool.
That was the big
event.
Yeah. That was like, and they Brian Callen's plane like got delayed or canceled or something before that show. So they had to push it back for like 3-4 hours, but it sounded like they were going to cancel it for a little bit. So people were already like, oh here we go. Of course, all this stuff. And then he showed up and it was really cool. I think that did a lot for him. I don't really pay attention to all that too much because I'm like genuinely not really interested in that. But I think that did a lot for him in his public perception. I just see less videos about like him being micro or under microscope, I guess. So
yeah, they're good. They're like good guys. I know with the people that they draw in and some of the things they say, it could be viewed otherwise. But
the subreddit part of that's like its own community. Like it's almost bigger than him at this point. Like they're their own like
it's a monster, dude.
Yeah, and they're having a good time. Like I don't think they even care about him as much anymore as just like them being all like together. In
you mean it's Schaub?
Yeah, like I feel like the people in the subreddit or like that group, like they just like being together as like their opinionated and care maybe even less about him specifically. They just like have found like a community. It's kind of it's weird, but
Reddit is it's just a bunch of savages. It seems like Reddit is like Twitter with the mob mentality.
Yeah, I've never really been into Reddit.
No, I've never even been on it. I don't know how to navigate it.
Yeah, I think it's like just anyone can kind of post. It's like Twitter, but
yeah. Brandon, can you look this up? Is the owner of Reddit, is he married to one of the Williams sisters, the tennis players? Little weird fun fact. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's the truth. I think Serena Williams is married to the owner of Reddit, and he's just this white dork.
I know Drake called him out once.
Look at
Serena,
that.
your husband's whatever. Look up Drake, Serena Williams' husband diss.
Yeah, let's get that going.
I've always wanted to tell a producer look something up.
It's nice, huh? Isn't it nice? You know what? Before I started my podcast, I've always wanted to be like, hey, I'll tell you after the podcast.
Oh yeah,
I've always wanted to do that. Yeah. I'll tell you the name after.
That's hilarious.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I bleep this out.
Yeah. Oh, I hit Brandon. Brandon, he averages about 50 bleeps an episode usually.
That's awesome.
But this one,
I'll find it here in a second.
All right, cool.
It's really not that important.
So you'll be going to Skankfest this year in Vegas, and are they doing it in the exact same spot?
I believe so.
So maybe
I think that's where it was the year before. So
maybe any of those like traffic flow kinks they can work out, or was it pretty? It is what it is.
Well, the big problem is that everyone. There's a show at each time slot that's like clearly the number one show, kind of. Like Shane was supposed to be there last year, then ended up getting sick and didn't go, but no one knew that at the time. So everyone, or the first like day or two, so everyone was still going to all the shows that he was on, and so that created a huge like to all like everyone was in those shows, and then no one's really at the others. So I don't know how you do that, because I was just at another festival in Florida where they tried to do a thing where like you fill out a Google Doc of the shows that you want to go to. I was going to say, because
then you can't just change your mind and go to a different.
Yeah, so that's no good. You got to be flexible.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So
do they have a good like door guy security system where the show's like?
Yeah, because it goes upstairs and there's only one stairway up there, and then they just have guys sitting there. So like you can, I mean, like the guy that came to film for me that didn't have a ticket, like we were like thinking like, I wonder if we could sneak you in here somehow, but it was airtight.
So I know it's like a party kind of atmosphere, but are the shows quality comedy? Like, are you getting good an hour of like, was Dave Chappelle there?
I don't know if he was last year. He is this year.
But Dave, I mean, the caliber of talent that they had last year. I know Joe List, Joe DeRosa,
Tim Dillon was
Mark
there,
Normand.
Yeah.
Any like crazy pop-ins?
Pop-ins? I don't think so. Scary, I don't know if his name's Scary J. The guy from Insane Clown Posse was.
He was just on Kill Tony, wasn't he?
Yeah. I know nothing about it. I was like,
nobody does.
I was like, is that an audience member? Is that like, I don't know, but like, I guess he was a surprise guest.
Oh, is this year's line spread?
Yeah, this is who they have listed as like the big comics coming.
Oh, nice.
A lot of good names on here.
Ian Fidance, he was just on Rogan. We did a show with him at Sunset. He's a good guy.
I love Ian Fidance.
I think you've
coming
done
out on Sunday.
some interviews with him at Skankfest. I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome dude.
Yeah,
Josh Potter.
the coolest part for me at Skankfest was I was interviewing Sam Talent, which was a big deal for me. That was like super cool.
Such a fan, dude.
And then while I was interviewing him, Doug Stanhope started making fun of him, and like they started going back and forth.
I saw this video.
Yeah, and so I was just like holding a microphone in between these like
two legends.
Like,
yeah.
So I kind of I guess I could say I interviewed Doug Stanhope, even though he has no clue who I am, or that he did that interview. I have a picture of it.
That's awesome, dude. Sam Talent comes out here a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he headlines, I think, almost every time he's here, the Mothership. He has before, but he pops in there a lot. He's a friend of the club, and he seems to like it.
Yeah.
What shows have you seen there?
At the Mothership?
Yeah.
The first time I came here, I saw Rogan and Friends about like a week after it opened.
I'll take a guess. Derek Poston. Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Ron White.
Yeah.
Duncan Trussell. No. Brian Simpson.
Yes.
Joe Rogan.
Yep. That was it. Yeah.
So by the way, great. What a show.
Yeah. And I loved that show. It was cool to see Tony. I saw him when he opened for Rogan in an arena before. But the same thing I said about Chappelle was true with Joe also. Like, oh shit, like that's one of the most famous people in the world, like right there.
He's
like
that,
intimate.
Yeah.
And then Brian Simpson ripped that. Like he was like the standout that I remember from that show.
Did you watch his special?
Yeah, that was
really
awesome.
Really
and then the second time I came, I saw Roast Battle because I was here for like 3 days and I just wanted to get into the Mothership. I didn't care what I saw. That sounded bad to Roast Battle. I like Roast Battle.
Right. No, but, I know what you mean.
So that was cool. And that was interesting because I was at Sunset Strip right before that for a live taping of the Real Ass podcast with Mark, Shane, Ari, Red Band. And then Tony. They went over and judged that show.
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know if they went in the back alleys, but that show ended at the Sunset Strip. We all had to walk over there at the same time because as I was sitting down, they all came out on stage.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, it's all one.
Yeah.
It's one. I mean, they're right there. It's awesome.
So I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, I just saw these guys and now they're over here. And Roast Battle was super cool. And then on Tuesday, I saw Duncan and Friends. That was Ron White, Duncan, obviously, a few other people. I forget.
Hell yeah.
Remember that. But yeah, that was cool. I got to go to Little Boy though.
What do you think? All right, let's just say they get the bar at Chappelle's Club, and same thing, 2-drink minimum. They got the nice little drink. Comedy clubs aren't really known for their drinks. I'm a beer guy. Right. The cocktails are always sweet. But Mothership, actually, Mitzi's rocks. Mitzi's is a great bar. But what would you rather, as a comedy fan, see a show at? Fat Man at Rogan's Club, or just Dave Chappelle has one room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather see. I think you can get better intimate at Chappelle's Club. There's no bad seats. Like you're gonna be 2 feet away from him, no matter where you are. And in the big room at the Mothership, the 3 times I've been there, I've been in the backs, like which was cool. I got to be in a booth once, and then just sitting in the back. I haven't been like down on the floor yet, which I feel like would be more similar to the experience I had at Chappelle's Club. So I'm going to say I'd rather go to the Yellow Springs Club if I want like that super intimate, like, holy shit, like I can't believe this is happening kind of thing. I also saw Dave Chappelle do like an hour and a half of like not material. So it's really hard. I mean, It could be recency bias, but like that's really hard to beat, especially if he's going to be there all the time. But the Mothership is so much more of a spectacle. Like it's the decoration.
I know. I'm asking you to compare like San Diego and Heaven. They're both great. they're both great. You're gonna be comfortable no matter what.
It's like the Mothership is like nicer, I think, on the inside. I don't know if they're doing like the firehouse thing and it's supposed to be more simple and like brick and stuff, but the Mothership's cool as fuck on the inside.
The
like,
interior is
truly awesome.
You got the aliens everywhere, the saucer when you walk in,
and the fact that it's 2 rooms. I feel like you have to consider if you're gonna say like which club. I
don't even know if this is in the works, but I'm manifesting this with my energy and my dreams. I like that restaurant next door that nobody in Austin gives a fuck about. If they can tear that down and make 2 more rooms or another room, it would be incredible.
Are there any clubs that have like more than 2 rooms like ever?
Yeah, the Comedy Store.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 rooms.
I think that probably not.
4 would be insane.
4 is insane. 4 is just, I mean, at that point, it's like an event center.
Yeah.
But I think probably not. No. I mean, a lot of the clubs in LA have 1 room. Like, I think the Laugh Factory. What about Brea Improv? Is that just 1 room?
Yeah, it's just 1 room. They had the old one next door, and that one's just like closed, and it's like a fucking dumpling shop now or some shit.
Yeah.
The new one's huge. But
if you're in Brea, go to the show at Brandon's dad's barber shop right down the street. It's a much better show.
Yeah.
The thing they were doing at Chappelle's Club too is he has like the lighting on lock. Like he had like a bit where he pretended to be God, and like the lights were coming in from behind him, and his mic turned to like an echo. Like they have like all this like.
Have you ever seen Greg Robinson perform? Mm-mm. He like brings his own audio light guy, and it's nice.
Yeah, so that's what they were doing there, but. I don't know. I also like this sounds weird. It's such a small thing. I like the curtain at the mothership. I like people coming from behind a curtain. Pause. I like people. I like the brick wall is very classic and whatever, but it's not as grand. But also that's
maybe
why
put a glory hole in brick.
yeah, exactly.
But curtain, no problem. Yeah, no, I like the curtain. It's cool for them to walk out that way. Have you been to Cap City here in Austin?
No.
It's a very the green room is right behind the stage. I love Cap City. Please keep booking me. But the stage is behind, or the green room's right behind the stage, and the door is on the stage. So like there's this big mural. If you see any picture, maybe you can even look it up, Brandon. You just see the door right on the stage. And so like when you open the door from the green room, you are now.
That's kind of funny. That's like a TV show or something like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like a sitcom, like Dad's Home. Everyone claps. Yeah, exactly. Ray Romano's on screen for the first time. And Sunset, we got the that one right there, top left, Brandon.
Yeah, I got you. I'm pulling. You know how slow this goddamn laptop is.
Sunset is cool too. Do you think that they could ever like buy that chicken place downstairs and make that a double decker?
Dude, that'd be sick. Shout out to Happy Chicks. Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't that the kid from Stranger Things chicken brand?
Happy Chicks? Oh, I don't know.
The weird looking one that gets like
with the lisp.
The one that gets like sucked down.
Oh, goes to the under.
Yeah.
I'm not too
with
well
the bowl
versed in
cut.
this.
I think he started that.
Will.
Yeah. Will Byers.
But Sunset's great. Sunset is a nice like bare bones club. I'm sure you've heard Tony Hinchcliffe talk about the ceilings.
Yeah.
There's going to be eventually they're going to put in a curtain, which will make the room feel like way tighter.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have a grungy bare bones club like that. I'm trying to think if anyone was. You've been to a couple shows there?
Yep. Well, I saw a live podcast there.
Right, and then Sunday.
On Sunday, the core slots.
It was Rachel Wolfson, Tommy Pope, and Dylan Sullivan.
Yeah. Very solid, and they did a lot with like 12 people.
It was a weird show. Yeah, it was a weird show. That Sunday night one.
And then Cam dropped by at the end too.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. So all the guys from the mothership just cut right over, and that like they'll come to Sunset and work out their material, go back over there, do it. It's like really cool what we have going on. It's kind of like Sunset. It's like the belly room. Okay. In a sense, you just have to walk outside and down the street a little.
So is that like the hangout spot more than the mothership?
Yeah,
even?
Man. Cam got us a PS3 back there. That's where we've been playing the NCAA. It's one of the best green rooms in town.
Really?
It's a great green room. It's huge. Stop by tonight for the Secret Show. I don't know if you're already planning on it, but
no, I was doing a lot of festival stuff tonight, but
we'll talk.
Yeah. The weird thing is, I love Moon Tower, but like. It's hard to. There's so many like regular shows that are going on here that I'm like, that's almost better than what they have on the schedule. Like maybe I should just. You
were at that show at Higbee's last night.
Yeah.
My friend Candice Medina was on that show. She runs Banana Phone.
Okay.
Or she did a spot, and she was telling me, I'm like, I've been to that bar. Like, how the fuck did they do a show in there?
Yeah.
But then I saw pictures, and I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool.
I asked the bartender if they do comedy here, and they said no.
No, never.
And I was like, it looks really cool in there.
Yeah.
It was great.
And that's what Austin. So what's funny is like this was the live music capital of the country.
Which also, no, it wasn't. Like, isn't Nashville always that? Like,
Nashville. I've never been to Nashville. I will say when I was here in like 2014, every bar just had like
live
someone ripping the guitar. You know Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
So he plays at Friends. He was at Sunset Strip last night. He pops in all the time. Yeah, we're on a first name basis. No big deal. But there's no way he remembers my name. But he does say hello. And then he goes in and just rips the guitar in a bar, and like a lot of people don't even know that they're watching Gary Clark Jr. I don't know if it ever had Nashville beat, but I will say when we got here, every bar had a stage, and it was still kind of COVID easing out. This is kind of they call it a liberal city. I'm from California. This is not a fucking liberal city. But so COVID happened, and then the comedians just took over every stage. Instead of a music venue, it was like a comedy venue now.
All right, so maybe I got here at a weird time, but I've been to Nashville, and like it's hard to convince me anywhere else.
I think you're right.
I lived in outside of Nashville for 2 years. Nashville is the music city capital of the world.
Yeah, and if you make it big in Nashville, you just stay.
Yeah, there's the Grand Ole Opry.
If you make it big in Austin, you go to Nashville, and for music, for like country music, right? Isn't that that's where like Taylor Swift is and all that?
Yeah. I mean, the Grand Ole Opry is like the most pristine like country music venue you can.
Nate
play.
Bargatze sold out.
I saw Bill Burr there sold out one.
Is it
cool.
big?
It seats like. Yeah, it's big, but it's like old, bro, like church pew seats.
Yeah, Johnny Cash used to play
seats.
there.
Yeah, there's just, it's so old that there's just seats that are completely obstructed by like poles to hold the railing up.
Cigarette burns in the leather.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That's like the Comedy Store in the belly room. There's still, or in the original room, there's still some tables with like cocaine lines on them.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, dude. Have you been there?
No, the first time I interviewed Fahim, he told me to come. If I'm ever out there, he'll give me a tour of the place, which I'm really excited for, and I'm banking on that. I don't know if you remember saying that, but I remember it. And so
it was on. You recorded it, right?
Yeah, it's on God. Zoom. I'll DM it to him and say I'm coming. But my cousin's getting married in Hawaii in a few months, so we have to lay over there. So I'm planning on going out there early.
Real quick before I forget, for the sake of comedy, if you're listening to this, watch Fahim Anwar's special right now because he got absolutely screwed by the algorithm in YouTube. Watch it; it's hilarious. I'm sure you know about that.
Yeah, that sucked, especially because he did all the protocols for it.
Yeah.
And it happened while it was up.
He said the old FAG word, dude, and YouTube wasn't having it.
Oh.
And it was like 38 minutes in to an hour. Anyways, but yeah, you were saying, sorry.
No, I just think that's crazy. And not that anyone should have their special limited. I'm not saying this at all. But when I interviewed David Lucas a few weeks after that, I asked him about that because David's whole special is just swearing at all the words that you could think of from the very beginning to the very end, which I loved his special too. But he was like, I've had no problems with it. And I'm like, dude, that sucks even more for Fahim.
Right.
He did one edgy word deep into the special. Doesn't seem like that makes any sense. Not that I'm advocating for anyone's special to get restricted, but
Joe List, they got him too. They demonetized him. It's just insane. Because, it's supposed to be the free space.
Well, it wouldn't be that bad if it would still suck because that is a big investment that should be getting like close to 1 million views for these guys. It wouldn't be that bad if it was just monetarily restricted, but YouTube they have their own interest in mind. Like when they limit ads on something, they also push it out so much less. Like they get half your ad share revenue. So if there's limited ads on it, they make less money on that, and they're so much less inclined to push it out to more people. So it's not even like you could be like, oh, well, you still had a good special, you just didn't make as much money off of it, but hopefully this will sell some tickets for you down the road and you'll make that money back. It's like now it's getting stifled by the algorithm. Like it's not even going to get seen as much. So it's not even just the money part that sucks, because you could have a special that makes no money, gets 1 million views, and then you sell out the rest of the year and you're like, that was worth it.
Yeah.
But now it's not even getting seen as much because YouTube is restricting.
Maybe though, and maybe this is just me being a dreamer, but maybe that means he can still use that hour and get picked up somewhere. Take it to a streaming platform.
Maybe.
Because not enough out, and if no one's seen it, but I don't know. He's so fucking funny. It sucks. It sucks. Have you been to a Kill Tony? You're a Kill Tony fan?
Huge Kill Tony fan. I've not been inside the building yet. Last Monday I was at Poor Choices or whatever it is, where they hold all the people.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Colt McNeely, super producer. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's the guy that he gets the names and runs over.
Okay.
He works at Sunset. He's an AV guy.
Yeah, so that's what we were there to watch, is like people's dreams, kind of come true or whatever.
Right.
Like they say it over the loudspeaker.
Or get
and
tragically crushed or just stomped in the gutter.
Well, someone missed their name. They said it like 3 times, and that I was like, oh,
dude. So
that sucks.
I was on Kill Tony maybe like 3 years ago when it was at the Vulcan, and I had gone for a year straight before my name was pulled, and this was it wasn't at 1 million subscribers. It wasn't nearly as big as it is now. It was all local comedians.
Yeah.
Did you ever sign up?
Yeah, I signed up a bunch. I just
you never got up though.
I never got up, and then Tony Casillas pulled me aside and was like, "Dude, just go to Mike's and build your 10.
Yeah,
You're better off doing that." And so I just started doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now, and I'm sure I mean, it is hundreds of people.
Yeah.
People that have never done comedy that think they just need to get discovered. It's pretty
it's close
frightening.
to like 200.
Yeah.
Show.
And so for you to get your name pulled and miss it, because like some of these guys have been going for 3 years every day and have not got pulled up. For that to happen, it's like maybe go back home to your dad in Ohio. maybe go be surrounded by your old friend group that's going to hold you back.
So what was I have this is a question I've thought of, like you said, what Tony said, that makes sense because you don't want to waste every Monday night just like hoping for 1 minute, but also you see it like literally makes people's careers, almost like people like I just interviewed Carlos Lopez, the cowboy guy. He's very funny. That was his first time ever doing stand-up, and now he's like doing more spots or whatever. It's like, oh, that kind of worked out great for him. But like, where do you get to the point where like you're not signing as a comedian in Austin where you're like, all right, I'm kind of done trying to get on Kill Tony, I'm just gonna go do 3 shows on Monday instead of wasting my time there? Or do you even want to get on, like, once you're known in this community, you're probably seeing these guys sometimes. Like, is there a point where you don't want to go on Kill Tony anymore?
Yeah, so I think it's like a progression thing. Like, there was a point where I wasn't getting booked on a Monday. So, like, I'm not wasting any time being at Kill Tony. There's nothing going on for me. We're like, now, if I wanted to, I would have to sacrifice a spot to be there. So it's like, no, I'd rather just go keep writing new jokes and get paid for a spot and getting booked on something than maybe getting pulled up on Kill Tony. Also, he could be in a horrible mood and call me gay for 15 minutes. I'll sign up again. I'm sure I will. And, you know, if I get pulled up, I'm sure it would be awesome if it goes well and, like, good things can happen. You can become a regular, like, spot at Red Band Secret Show, which is big, just to be booked on a Thursday here in Austin, Texas. Everybody thinks they're going to become Cam Patterson.
Right.
Nobody's going to become Cam Patterson was going to be Cam Patterson with or without Kill Tony. Kill Tony just got him to Mars before he made it to the moon. If that didn't even make fucking sense. You know what I mean? It just it elevated it all. Yeah. You know, Cam was always going to be Cam. Like, he is so funny. The minute when he got here, there was buzz about him in 3 days.
It's crazy. I mean, it's going to be compared. Like I was saying this yesterday. The way that you listen to podcasts and you hear people talk about, like, man, seeing Kevin in New York, the blow up was the most insane thing. I hear Bill Burr say that all the time. We are going to say that about Cam Patterson. I mean, he is 2 years into comedy and could sell out a tour right now. Did you see his tour? Pull up if you can.
I don't know if you can.
I'll pull it up, but yeah,
this is the beginning tour, or only the beginning tour. He's got like 55 shows, I think, like 23 states. It's incredible. Damn. I didn't see Sunday night, but like I host every Friday night at Sunset. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, but Cam drops in all the time, and he gets such a fucking pop. Yeah, like the same pop when I got to bring up Ian Edwards, or when I got to bring up. I mean, there's been a bunch of guys that I've gotten the pleasure to work with. But my God, he got popular so fast, and he's the real deal, dude. I'm here to tell you.
This is a joke. Like, that's.
I mean,
insane.
he's just booked every weekend.
Dude, he'll be in movies next year, bro. Cam, here's the thing. I see him get up maybe 7 to 12 times a week. We're on a lot of shows together. I'm a door guy at Sunset, so I see him every time he goes up. And every bit I've ever seen him do, he's never done it the same way twice. He's constantly writing, expanding, trying new bits. He'll pop in a shitty show and do 5 minutes if you let him, just to work something out. That's awesome. He's dedicated. He writes. He's driven. He's like, you've seen some guys on Kill Tony. Like, there was somebody, and I'm not here to drag anyone's name, but a couple years ago that was a regular that burnt out quick. And if you don't keep your foot on the gas, Hans Kim's a great example. I know there's a lot of opinions about Hans Kim. When he got the regularship at Kill Tony, I saw him at every single open mic, every single week, grinding it out, trying to get that minute. And he was a 9-year comic. They had to, on Rogan, they had to tell him to stop going to mics. Like, dude, you don't need to go to open mics anymore.
I think that's the norm. I mean, wouldn't you be terrified like that you have to do a new minute every week to this huge platform? Like, wouldn't you be doing that almost out of fear? Like, I have to do every mic to make sure I'm prepared for this.
I can't. I wouldn't believe it unless I saw firsthand. I saw the opportunity get squandered by somebody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I couldn't believe it.
Cam's also like the nicest guy ever. Like, he's always been cool when I see him.
Person.
Let me interview him twice. Like, awesome. Very nice. And he could be however he wants at this point. Like, he's regular famous in Austin.
Man. Yeah. Oh, in Austin and elsewhere too.
Yeah.
I mean, this tour is going to be great. He's just building such a strong hour. And yeah, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. It's just it's a great ascent. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's deserved everything. I don't think there's anyone that has a negative thing to say about Cam Patterson.
No. I'm sure there's some jealous bitches out there.
Oh, of course. Of course.
But do you have anything big in the works for Joke World or anything? I know you said is that official? You are moving here?
Yeah, in August is when my lease is up. And
by the way, couldn't pick a worse month.
I was just about to say it.
I'm moving from Tampa though. It's already fucking hot as balls.
Yeah, you'll be actually all right.
Yeah,
but
it might be actually a cool down for you.
Yeah, the humidity will drop slightly.
Yeah. That's just when my lease is up, and I feel like why do I live in Tampa? Like, I don't know why, and I root Austin on so much already. Talk about so much.
I will say though, the beauty for you is that you can be wherever you want.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. But since you're so interested in comedy, come to where it's the best.
Yeah, I think it's also because like this is a new developing place, and I'm a new developing company, I guess, and I feel like we're both kind of starting at the same kind of time-ish. Like, I'm 3 years in. This place is probably like 5 years into its like complete makeover or whatever. Like, I feel like it'd be a good place to. I feel like it's better for young guys. Like, when I'm that sounded weird, but when I'm interviewing these comedians, asking that like these New York guys, like, what do you think about Austin and stuff? A lot of them are like, I would move there if I was new, but I'm established in New York now. I have no reason to do that. So I feel like I relate more to that, especially if I want to like one day have a club. I would want to do it here. Like, it's more spread out. Like, I don't visualize being able to open a club anywhere else really. I like that it's warm. I mean, but also like it just seems like the place where there's more opportunity, especially for someone like me who is just like literally a random guy trying to like make some things happen. Like, there's more people who can get pulled onto Kill Tony and then become relevant, but they're still not famous, so they're willing to give me an interview. And I can do that in person instead of on a grainy Zoom if I'm here, or just do some more man on the street stuff, actually being like a reporter outside of. Here's the other thing. Every time I've been here, just randomly, like the other time I was telling you I was at Sunset, and for the Real Ass podcast taping, they announced on that show, everyone's phones are locked up, but they announced that Shane was moving to Austin.
Right.
And then I was like, that's hilarious that I'm just sitting here. Now I have a whole video to make just from like randomly going to the show. And that video did well. And I was like, wow, if I was just in here going, like, that wasn't for a festival, that wasn't for any random thing. I was just here, found out this amazing information, made a whole successful video about it. How many times could I be doing that if I, just lived here? So that's kind of what I'm thinking of it. But yeah, I don't know.
It's the forefront too, man. You like just a small example at the mothership. You got Casey Rocket, who's about to pop off. Cam, David Jolly, Liz Splat, CJ Landry, like. And
I want to do. I want to. It's Joke WRLD, and a lot. I think one of my biggest criticisms is like focusing too much in on the Rogan verse, whatever people call that. But it's also like the biggest thing happening right now, and they're some of the biggest comedians in the world. They don't have podcasts. Like, they don't have anything that you could talk about weekly. Like, they release a special every year or year and a half.
Right.
It's like, how are you supposed to keep them relevant in a YouTube video? Like,
we would love to know what's going on with Joey Diaz, but we only know what he tells us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I'm just going. If you want to catch fish, go where the water is, whatever they say.
By the way, that's not Joey Diaz popped into Sunset last week.
Really?
It was fucking unreal.
That's awesome.
That's the beauty of this city, is like, that's not gonna. I guess that could happen in LA and New York. That definitely does, but it's not gonna happen in Tampa.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's definitely
Side Splitters rocks though.
Yeah, that is a great.
That's
club.
a fucking dope club. Never been. Please have me. I've heard great things.
It's awesome.
But look, man, I think this is a good place to wrap up. Please, we know we got Joke WRLD. Anything else there is to plug? This will come out next Thursday. You got anything big in the works?
Let's see. Just if you want to stay up to date with comedy news, stay in the comedy loop, just check out Joke World. We're building up a second channel, Clip World, right now. Just trying to do more like creative stuff that, you know, isn't taken maybe so seriously over there, or just like videos where it needs to be reported on, but there isn't maybe, I don't know how to explain this because that makes it seem like those are bad videos. They're good videos. Check out the second channel, Clip World. We're new on Twitter also, so, you know, help us out there. Instagram. And if you want any free stickers, we send those in the mail too. So yeah, if you want any free Joke World stickers. But thank you for having me so much. I really appreciate it.
Dude, I know you moved some things around to be here. I'm very thankful. I appreciate it, man.
For sure. This is awesome.
Like we said, we're huge fans and just excited to see your shit build and happy that you're moving here, bro.
Yeah, dude. I've only been a guest on like a few random podcasts, mostly through Zoom. I feel like every time once it's like, oh, now we're really talking. It's like, all right, it's over. Like,
you could do another hour,
this again,
right? Yeah,
sometime.
dude, please.
Yeah.
We would love to have you back anytime you're in the area. Just reach out. I'd love to have you on.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Bro, I mean, we need you much more than you need us. Believe us. Brandon, what do you got?
Follow me on Instagram, Brandon Lejean _. I'm going to have a stupid amount of shows that I'm producing next month in Austin, so come out to them, please.
Once again, I never look at my calendar when I need to, but Sunset Strip Friday and Sunday, every Friday and Sunday, see me there. I'll post more dates on my Instagram. Thanks for listening. Captain's Dogs. Jake, once again, thanks, brother.
Thank you.
And see you out in these mean streets.
Yep. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Fuck yeah, dude.